Hello, folks. It's 6 February 2016, and the economic meltdown has begun. It appears that everyone seems to have their own agenda. So hang on, nobody's quite sure what they want to do over this. Putin is claiming Russia is about to invade Syria. So the agenda here is to redesign the Middle Eastern Europe map. Obviously, Putin is telling Erdogan not to invade Syria. But Erdogan feels like Hitler incarnate. So we're going to find out what happens with that. He wants the Middle East stabilized. He does not. So obviously they're pushing for war. Now here's Citibank. World economics seems trapped in a death spiral. Well, now we're going to skip all the CNBC garbage. We're going to see exactly what Citibank said. The world appears to be trapped in a circular reference death spiral, Citi strategist led by Jonathan Stubbs said in a report Thursday. Stronger U.S. dollar, weaker oil, commodity prices, weaker world trade, petrodollar liquidity, weaker EM, and repeat blah, blah, blah ad infinitum. This would lead to an Olimageddon, a significant and synchronized global recession, and a proper modern-day equity bear market. In other words, an economic meltdown where the dollar loses, say, 80% of its value. Citibank, it has been rumored, may be on the verge of falling apart if the United States corporation does not funnel it all kinds of fake dollars. I like Citibank because they have an office in St. Petersburg, Russia, and one in the U.S., so you can actually move and keep Citibank. This is what they call the ghost ships of Singapore. These are all the ships that are unused. Rather than selling them for scrap, they're letting them rot in the sea and they're declaring bankruptcy. They don't really care anymore. They're just letting the ships sink. There are tens of thousands of them around the world. They're what they call the ghost ships of Singapore. Thank you, President Obama. Have you ever noticed a lot of the larger homes on Zillow are now rotting instead of having them give it away? We could give them a tax certificate for it, but they're turning the power off and letting the homes rot. So here we're going to look at the Baltic Index, which was started way back in the 1700s, but they began publishing it in 1985. It was going along pretty good. Bush took office, the economy took off. We had the stock market crash. Bush brought it right back, and then Obama took over, and look what Obama's done to it. This was under George Bush Jr. This is under Obama. It's never been lower. That's an indication of the shipping index we just showed you. Now if you go to Wikipedia, you can learn about the Baltic Dry Index. I'm going slow so you can copy these references down. Now here's the U.S. economic trade deficit. Things were going along pretty good until 1972 when we had an Arab oil embargo. And then our trade deficit started to plummet. Bush again started bringing it back. Obama destroyed it. Obama's here to destroy. Now everybody has their own agenda. This is the new Middle East. Turkey extends all the way out to here. In fact, the Ottoman Empire used to be much of this area. In fact, if you look up here, it was huge. Now Turkey is going to be cut down here. We're going to have a Kurdistan. We're talking about the revaluation of the Iraqi dinar. Iraq used to be this. It's going to be cut in half, and the Euphrates is drying up. In fact, in 2014, when they shut down some dams in Syria and Turkey, the Euphrates did dry up. Sound like one of the seals in the Bible? Yeah. Okay. So Iran gets larger, free Kurdistan occurs, and Saudi Arabia is hacked up. So the governments of Turkey and Saudi Arabia have to fall, and the governments of Yemen have to push back the Saudis and take most of their oil wells. But we may not be on oil for very much longer. Here's our trade deficit, 1950. Things are going along pretty good. Guess what happened here? We introduced computers. Digital money. 1972 or Arab oil embargo. And then we started shutting down our oil wells. The presidential orders came for the people that I know to stop pumping oil out of North Dakota, Alaska, on and on it goes. And so here's what happened to our trade deficit. Bush brought it back. Obama destroyed it. But that's Obama's job, to destroy. He's the great lightning from heaven, Barack Obama. He even changed his name. Sorry, that's a reference to my website. So what we have here is the economic meltdown has begun. Everyone has their own agenda, from redrawing the Middle Eastern map to creating war. And what we saw was, day again, we saw the devastation and destruction of the American population. So hang on, it could get very interesting. If you're with God, the news is a barometer. If you're not with God, you're in deep doo-doo. Thank you very much, folks, and you have a wonderful day, and good night.